Are you someone who does all the manifestation stuff and you find that it's not really working for you? You're not getting the results that you're looking for? I'm going to explain in this video what is going on, how manifestation actually works, what it is actually all about, and what needs to happen in order for you to begin to really see the results that you're looking for, to experience the stuff you want to experience, have those kind of relationships, whether there's a certain income you're looking for, whatever it is for you, doesn't matter. The core principle applies across the board. Manifestation can get a lot of flack, and there's a lot of confusion around it because there's a lot of people that teach on it and are giving, I think possibly, maybe, I don't know if it's in their intention, but they are essentially taking advantage of people's fears and pain points and the suffering that they're in order to promote a course or a product or whatever, and giving all kinds of tools. I've seen everything from speaking to water to writing notes and putting them under your pillow, write something 3 times and fold the paper 6 times and turn in a circle 9 times, and all the different kinds of things. And these tools are all useful to the extent that they shift how you feel. So if they help you shift how you feel, then they're useful for you. But ultimately, they're not required. They're permission slips for you to feel empowered or to feel successful or to feel confident or whatever it is that you're needing to shift within yourself. What it really comes down to is you are going to attract, you're going to experience, you're going to see things reflected back to you according to who you are being. And when I say who you are being, what I'm talking about is that vibrational energy that exists, that you are. So what are you emanating? And if that's kind of confusing to you and I don't really get it, I don't get what vibration means, I don't get what energy means. Think about it when, say you walk into a room and there's a couple of people in that room, and as soon as you walk in, you feel, even though they've said nothing, they haven't told you anything, you can feel like, oh, this doesn't feel good. You know, there's some sort of tension here, even without any words conveyed at all. You felt the energy, right? There's a certain vibration that these people, they're vibrating in. There's an energy, a frequency that they're vibrating on. And you might not necessarily be able to put words to it. You just know this doesn't feel good. So we have like a scale, if you want to look at it this way. There's a vibrational scale. A map that I like to use is the map of consciousness, mapped out by David Hawkins. And he uses emotion to map out these levels, these frequencies of vibration, starting all the way down from shame all the way up into enlightenment. Something of a lower vibration typically doesn't feel good to us. We don't like the way it feels. Things like shame and guilt, apathy, grief, fear, anger, these kinds of things. Something of a higher vibration, this feels good to us. These are things like love and joy and peace, compassion, empathy, acceptance. So depending on what we are vibrating, we label it with words. So feeling is the word we invented to describe the conscious awareness of the vibration that we're. So when we understand everything is vibration, and then we look at the law of attraction, that like attracts like, this is really ultimately what manifestation, where the rubber meets the road, so to speak. So the thing is, the universe is truthful. So this is where we get to see what's really going on, and we can say, I want to be wealthy. We can even affirm it. I am wealthy, I'm abundant, I am free, I am prosperous, I am, all the things that we can say about ourselves. But that could just be lip service. What's really going on vibrationally and energetically for us is, I'm feeling lack. I don't feel like I'm good enough. I'm not worthy. I can't do it. I'm afraid of being successful because then everybody's gonna, want to take advantage of me. We can have all kinds of things going on vibrationally. And that's what the universe is communicating with. That's what we're seeing a reflection of. So this is why, even though you're doing all the really great manifestation things that you're doing, that they might not be working, because it's essentially lip service. You're doing things, but the energy and vibration isn't coming alongside of it. So if your affirmations don't shift actually how you are feeling, then they're not really helping you. If your journaling or your vision board isn't helping you to feel the emotions that go along with the achievement of the goal that you have, then it's not helping you. And then let's go a bit deeper. And this is where I'm going to help you guys. I'm going to do a series of this in order to help you begin to make some shifts on that deeper level. So I've seen it where there's these people that work really, really hard and they don't experience the results. And then I've seen other people, they don't seem to work very hard and their results are just through the roof. So that led me to really dig in and try to understand what was going on there. And I found out under the surface, vibrationally, that the people, even though they were working very hard, they had beliefs and energy, trapped energy in their body of things like betrayal or fear or sadness or confusion, or I'm looking at, I have a list of emotions here: blaming, jealousy, shame. Shame is a big one for a lot of people. Unsupported, and the list goes on and on. And so this is energy is emanating, is vibrating within the individual. And therefore, this is what is being reflected back to them by the universe. The universe just says yes. So whatever vibrational frequency you are on, you just get more. The universe says yes. So if you're like, life is hard and things don't work out for me, but I want to be wealthy and I wish I was, I wish that I had that ideal partner, the universe just says yes. So what are you doing? Who are you being in that moment? When you want something, that implies I don't have it, right? So you're just getting more of I don't have it. If you wish for something, it's something that you currently don't have, that's maybe off in the future or just kind of like a fluffy thing in the air. And so the universe just says, yes, it's off in the future, it's a fluffy thing in the air, it's not right now. We must shift who we are being in this now moment, because this is only the moment that we are able to create in, is right now. So when we look under the surface and we start digging in, and I've worked with many clients one-on-one, and I do this as a group with people, as with individuals as well, what we see is that they might have a goal of something they want to achieve. Let's say that's a financial goal. But as a young child, they experienced, let's just say, creative insecurity. So there was something that they did as a child where it was like they created a project or an art piece or something like that, and they put their heart and soul into it, and then they showed it to their teacher and the teacher criticized it, or they showed it to mom and dad and they ignored them. And so there was this emotion of like insecure about your creation, and you trapped it in your body and you've been holding it there ever since. And so there's an energy of like, what I create isn't good enough, it's not going to work, people don't like it. And so the universe just says yes, and you keep experiencing it. That's why you see it in your reality, because it's vibrationally going on within you. So you could be completely unaware that this is happening, right? And you could be affirming, I'm successful, I'm all these things, but your vibrational field is sending out a signal of creative insecurity. And so the universe says yes to that, and you experience rejection, you experience self-sabotage, where you won't actually take action towards your goals because you're afraid of being criticized or it not working or people laughing at you or whatever. Or you experience people who don't appreciate you. These kind of people will come into your life. You might have a boss who just, no matter how hard you work or what you do, there's no validation there, there's no approval, and on it goes, because your outer world is a mirror to show you what's going on within you so that you can heal it, so that you can let it go, so you can overcome it. So what I would like to do here, I haven't done this on YouTube or Instagram or any of my channels and stuff that I have done so far, but this is what I do with people one-on-one, and also what I do with my group, my healing group that we do every week. And I go through, and when I work with an individual, I'll use muscle testing to see what are the trapped emotions that are going on within you. And we start releasing those one by one. But I connected with spirit, or whatever terminology you want to use, with myself. I use muscle testing for myself and asked me, my higher self, I'm like, what are the 7 main negative trapped emotions that I should create videos on in order to help people release this from, if they can't work with me directly or in the group or something like that, like how can I put this out for free in order to help people? The top emotions that came up were shame, abandonment, sadness, jealousy, heartache, lack of control, and shock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one emotion at a time, and we're going to talk about it, we're going to learn a little bit about it, and you're going to go on a bit of a journey with yourself in terms of where is this going on within you, and then we're going to release it together. And the method that I use is called the emotion code. And so I go through and we test and we see, what's this emotion? Where is it trapped in your body? How old were you when it was trapped? And what was the experience that you had that you actually felt an overwhelming quantity of that emotion? Typically, when we trap an emotion, it means pretty much it overwhelms our system, and we don't have the tools or whatever in order to process it and allow it to move through our body. So now we're going to look at that. We're going to see And obviously, because I'm not talking with you directly, I'm not going to be able to find the specific thing for you, but be confident in yourself that you're going to, and trust your intuition to what comes up for you is what it is, is the situation where it is in your body. And that's going to make sense as we go through here. So healing happens through intention, through witness, and through knowing. We've used the word faith before, but sometimes people don't really fully know what that word means, to have faith. But that basically that healing happens through the shift in vibration. If I take an example out of the Bible, so I grew up learning about Jesus, and there was stories of him, being this great healer, and people would come to him and be like, please heal me, or my son is sick, or I'm blind, or whatever, and Jesus would do different things in order to heal these people. Interestingly enough, Jesus himself said, "It is your faith that has healed you." Jesus didn't claim that he was this almighty healer. Other people had faith and belief in Jesus that he could heal them. But the actual thing that was healing those people was the belief in their mind. It was a shift. They were putting their faith in Jesus, thinking it was him that was doing it. But it wasn't Jesus having some magical power on them. It was that they shifted their knowingness. They went from I'm sick to I'm healed. So they went through Jesus to do it, their belief system. They didn't have the belief in themselves, but at least the belief was there. And so when we do these healing practices, I don't have any magical power more than you do. We all have magical power. It's our ability to know something to be true that creates that experience for us. And that is what healing is. And I know this because I see it happen all the time. I see people healed. I've had clients who have been in tremendous pain, and we've released trapped emotions, and that pain has instantly gone away, and it's been there for years. And I've seen people's financial situations change. I've seen relationships change, all the stuff. So I'm in this knowingness of the ability to create whatever reality you want. And so I'm vibrating at that frequency. So what's happening here, and this is what any healer is doing, and Bashar has talked about this as well. If you don't know who Bashar is, go look him up. He's super cool. A healer vibrates at a certain frequency and basically creates a space, and it's an invitation for you to join them on that frequency. And it's up to you whether you're going to choose to raise your vibration to that level or not. It's always on that individual to choose that. So what we're doing here is we're going to go through and understand, here's an area where you've been holding on to something of a lower frequency. And I'm going to then invite you to let it go. And so that your vibration can just naturally raise. And then we're going to do that one by one on each of these videos. So without any further ado, we're going to go into our second trapped emotion, which is abandonment. Abandonment is one of the main ones that I see in a lot of people. We even see a lot of information out on social media about the abandonment wound and all these kinds of things. So it's likely something that's not brand new to you. But we have this as a core trauma for many, many individuals. As I've worked with people one-on-one, I see this come up a lot through a few different areas. But it typically will have something in childhood where a parent abandoned them in some kind of way. And this can be anything from, say, parents separated and there was a feeling of abandonment there. There was a divorce or something like that, and one of the parents left. Or something as simple as remember, these emotions are trapped when we feel that emotion in an overwhelming way and we can't process it. So think as what it's like for a little child. From an adult's perspective, some of this stuff might seem kind of insignificant, but as a child, that's your whole world. And so that emotion could be super overwhelming and a super big deal to you as a kid, even though as an adult, we think it's not a big deal. So some people have a trapped abandonment where when they've been taken to school, it actually comes up quite a bit for people when their parents drop them off for the first day of school, or maybe daycare or something like that, where there's all of a sudden, because as a child, you're very much attached to your parent, and then they leave you, and that's very scary. And so that abandonment can be there even from that, something so simple as that. I've seen it as well where, even in a grocery store with mom, and then as a little kid, and then you turn around and mom's not there. She could be just around the corner, but there's been that feeling that you've been left. I'm going to read you the definition of abandonment. we got a couple of kinds here. We've got physical abandonment. So physical abandonment is being left alone, left behind, or deserted. And this type of abandonment is what we most often see in childhood. There is also emotional abandonment. This is being given up on, withdrawn from, emotionally deserted or separated from, a feeling of being left behind in a non-physical form. You could experience this in adult life as well, especially the emotional abandonment, where you were maybe in a relationship and someone left, they broke up with you, or you yourself were divorced, or you were cheated on, or things like that. You could have had a business partnership and that business partner, abandoned ship or left or whatever. So this can show up in all different kinds of forms. You can also abandon yourself. You could have certain dreams, goals, and desires, things that you want, and you've essentially said no to that and chosen another path. And that usually comes from pressure, from culture, religion, family, things like that. Think about as little kids, things that we wanted to be and dreams that we had, and adults with all their good intention, we said, well, how are you ever going to do that? Or, that's impossible. You can't do that. Or where's the money going to come from? Whatever it was. And then you essentially abandoned your dream. You abandoned yourself and your desires in order to fit in order to essentially receive validation and love from others. So abandonment can come in all different shapes and forms. So I want you to think about that as I'm talking about it. I'm bringing up different angles to see, to sort of maybe spark some ideas in you. For some of you, when I say the word, you'll know right away, oh yeah, this is where I feel abandonment, or this is the memory that I have where I felt this, or even what you're currently experiencing right now and feeling that abandonment there. And again, notice as the memories are coming up, or those ideas, or what your intuition is telling you, like why you have trapped abandonment in your body, essentially. Where do you feel it in your body? And if you don't feel it anywhere and you're like, I don't know, Megan, I don't feel anything, I'm not sure, don't worry about it, it's okay. It's not like I'm going to make or break this process for you if you can't feel it somewhere in your body. So let's talk about this a little bit. What do we want? What is this emotion teaching us? What is it wanting? What's the message that it has for us? So first off, we look at what the situation was that you felt abandoned. What's going on around that for you? Why is that emotion going on within yourself? And then I think sometimes why I'm a little bit different than maybe some healing communities and stuff like that is we don't want to just stay in the healing process indefinitely. We want to look at a thing, we want to understand a thing, and then we want to move on from it. We got to get our lesson and move on so that we can, shift and get the results and have the experiences we want to have. So we look and we see, okay, here's where my pain is coming from. Yeah, my parents divorced when I was a kid. I felt abandoned. I felt left behind. I felt unloved and all that kind of stuff. And that's the situation. Okay, now I have an understanding of what's going on there within myself. It is what it is. We're not blaming. We're not mad at mom and dad and whatever. That's the situation. It's the cards we've been dealt. Now that we see that that's there, and we can see like, oh, that's why I'm getting the results. That's why I keep attracting people that just keep leaving me. That's why I'm facing all these experiences where I'm alone, or I engage in a relationship and it doesn't work, or I have a repeated pattern of romantic relationships where that person leaves, on and on. This is why it's happening, because I'm in resonance with abandonment. I'm vibrating abandonment. It's going on within me. Okay, I see it. So now that we see it, we have the power to change it. This abandonment, what it is telling you, again, it doesn't feel good, right? The negative emotions are there to show us we have an incorrect perception of ourselves. So the abandonment is showing us you are perceiving yourself incorrectly. And this is going to go down to a deep-seated belief of separateness. You believe you are separate from others, which that is not true. It's an incorrect perception that you are separate. So the abandonment is showing you perceive yourself as separate, and this is not correct, and that's why it doesn't feel good. So then what we can see is, what's true then? If this is an incorrect perception of myself, that I'm separate from others, then what is true? And that the truth is that we are one with all that is. A good way to try to understand, because this can be a very long topic to discuss. So first off, the truth is you are one. We are all one. There's kind of this illusion that we're separate, but for the joy and the experience of playing this game of the human life, but underneath it all, everything is energy. All that energy is the same thing. It's the same stuff. We're all made up of all that same energy stuff. And that energy is God source energy. The God particle is kind of a bunch of stuff that we don't even fully understand. And if you look at it, for example, like the ocean, as a symbol for this, so on the surface of the ocean, right, that we see waves. And if this is the ocean here, like this, and it's taking up all this space, and if we put up a wall or whatever, and all you could see was just the waves coming up like this, you would think that these were individual things, right? Because you're not aware of the entire ocean underneath. You're just seeing the tips. And so you're thinking, oh, those are individual things. You would perceive it as individual and separate. But if we move this away and you saw the whole ocean, you would understand, oh, it's all one thing. I just wasn't aware. My awareness was only here. So therefore I have this concept that it's all this separate stuff. But if we expand our awareness, we see, oh, it's all the ocean. It's all one, it's all water, it's all the same. So if you understand you are one with all that is, abandonment would be irrelevant. How can you get away from yourself? How can you leave yourself behind? Like, it's just impossible for that. So what this is revealing to us, again, these emotions that we're holding on to or that we've experienced, is because we're still learning what's true. One of the deals when you come into this human experience, when your soul is like, hey, let's go and do the human experience again, that makes this game so fun and interesting, is that the deal is when you're born, you forget who you are, and as spirit. And so you're plunked down in here and with no reference point or memory of all this information, because it's fun. Source energy is having a blast rediscovering itself from different perspectives and in different ways. So what's happening right now is you're beginning to remember who you are. If you've come across my videos and stuff, then obviously you're on a path of awakening and beginning to understand there's more than just this physical body, right? There's more than just that matrix world out there. And so as you wake up more and remember more of this kind of information is going to surface for you. And you're going to have a deeper and deeper understanding of your oneness with all that is. So abandonment just fades away. You can't be abandoned. It's impossible. So now that we're getting this information, we're beginning to understand, oh, this is what this is teaching me. If this is settling in for you, you don't need this emotion anymore. You don't need to be holding on to abandonment, because you understand, aha, I was perceiving myself incorrectly as separate. And I'm shifting my perception to know that I'm one with all that is. So now the abandonment can go. You don't have to hold on to that anymore. And therefore now you're going to see that isn't going to be shown and reflected back to you in your reality, because you're not in resonance with it anymore. You're in a feeling of connectedness. You're in a feeling of, I'm in relationship with everything. I'm in connection with everything. And just because a person comes and goes doesn't mean you're abandoned. You're not tying that meaning to it anymore. What you're seeing and perceiving it as now is, I'm having experiences in different ways. People come and go, and that's a beautiful thing, and we get to ebb and flow, and it's all good. You don't have to label things and perceive things as abandonment anymore, because now you're perceiving things differently. So I invite you to close your eyes and notice what memories have come up for you, what beliefs, maybe judgments and bitterness you have towards certain people because you feel they have abandoned you. Certain experiences where you feel you're abandoned. Maybe you have a narrative in your mind, people always leave me. I always get left behind. Notice what comes up for you. And if you feel it somewhere in your body, be aware of that as well. Your attention goes to some pain in your body. That could very much be your body signaling to you that this is a trapped emotion that you're holding on to. And your body is actually telling you, it's trying to get your attention, but it wants to let it go. Just see where that connection is happening for you. And then through visualization, through intention, this is how we release the trapped emotion. Essentially, all we're doing is we're shifting our vibration. Nothing crazy, nothing super magical or fancy. Healing is very simple. Using visualization can just help us in that process. So I invite you to see that emotion released. You might visualize it as black wispy smoke, or maybe a dark energy, whatever it is for you. Allowing it to be released from the body. You can take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, just allowing that emotion of abandonment to be released from the body. Very good. Thank you so much that we're able to release this trapped emotion of abandonment across all time, space, reality, dimensions. Thank you. And so it is. All right, my dear, as you're ready, you can open your eyes, bring yourself back into the room. You can do this with any emotions that you notice are coming up for you. I'm going through 7 in this series to help you and so you can get a feel for it as well, and just give some guidance. But you don't need me. You can totally do this on your own, but feel free to use these videos to assist you and to help you in this. There's all kinds of trapped emotions. If you want to go and have a bit of a guide or help as well, you can just Google the emotion code, and you'll see they've broken it down into a list. You can see my paper has been through the ringer. I could probably print myself out a new one, but here we are. So you can just look that up and work through some of the emotions for yourself. But you are more than welcome to join me and we can do it together. I have some other videos on this as well. I'm currently going through, I did shame already in the previous video. This is abandonment. There will be videos on sadness, jealousy, heartache, lack of control, and shock. And you can go through each of those. You might want to choose to do one a day for the next week and begin to face that shadow, face that part of you that you might be really suppressing and trying to ignore. Bring it to light, look at it, learn from it, and then it can go. Then you can release it. You can transmute that energy. Remember, you are going to get a reflection of who you are being. So if you are in vibrational alignment, if you are in resonance with things like confusion, discouragement, rejection, bitterness, guilt, on and on it goes, you're going to see that in your reality. So the universe, this process is very honest. So if you're looking in your reality and experiencing things that you don't like and is not what you would prefer, then we need to go within and we need to see what's going on within ourselves. So I invite you to go on to the next video, and we'll see you then. I hope you really enjoyed that video and were able to take away some nuggets that are helping you on your journey. I am deeply committed to my mission to raise the vibration of the world one person at a time. Of course, that starts with me and my own journey and then extends through the teaching and energy and healing work that I do on a day-to-day basis. I see really 2 angles to come at this journey of evolution for us to raise our vibration so that we can experience abundance and freedom and joy, those loving relationships, those healthy bodies, all those things that you're searching for. It actually is a journey that happens from within. And on the one angle, we come at this from understanding, gaining wisdom, beginning to discover ourselves and who we really are. How does the cosmos work? What is the soul's journey? This is why I teach on YouTube and give videos on my social media in order to gain understanding and wisdom and awareness so that we can logically move ourselves forward forward. The other angle to come at this is through inner work, through healing, through what has been coined as shadow work. This is why I do energy work, and I use things like the emotions code, like bioresonance, do subconscious reprogramming, brain entrainment, all these beautiful and wonderful things in order to do work inwardly to shift our vibration. When I say shift our vibration, you naturally, at spirit soul level, vibrate at a very high level with perfect abundance and freedom and joy and all those things. But what happens though through life experiences, we tend to hold on to things like limiting beliefs, traumas, fears, doubts, anxiety, stress, all this kind of stuff that's not you. So our journey of raising our vibration is actually a journey of letting go of that which is not us. And so that is the other angle that I utilize in order to help people raise their vibration into these places that feel really, really good. What happens over YouTube though, or over these videos, is that there can be a disconnect. You can't necessarily talk to me or ask your questions. And so you sometimes feel like you're alone. So I'm really excited to announce that I have a membership where we can meet once a week and you're able to ask me questions as well as work with other people that are like-minded and on this journey together of raising our vibration, of manifesting lives that are beautiful and wonderful, that we're so happy and excited to be alive, living our passions and doing the things that bring us a lot of joy. On those calls, I will actually work with you individually as well. For people who are wanting help, I can release negative trapped emotions right there in person. For those who would like that done, I can use my bioresonance technology in order to read your frequency right then and there and actually send you frequency that will help bring more balance for you as well. And you can also, again, ask your questions, and I share even more tips and tricks than I have available currently on YouTube on how to heal the shadow on the day-to-day when you're on your own and I'm not there with you. What are these things and practices that you can do that ultimately raise your vibration? As we shift and release that which is not us, all the money and the relationships and the love and the health, it just is a byproduct of that. It's a symbol of the shift that's happening within yourself. So if this membership is something that sounds exciting to you, you want to connect with other like-minded people, you want to connect with me and grow in community together, there is a link in the description where you're able to get more information on that and sign up, and I would love to see you there.